Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, we continued working on designing the landers that we're going to be using for Eve, and what I ultimately decided was to go back to a more kind of traditional style lander, a kind of vertical takeoff and landing type of design. But instead of using rockets, they're kind of rockets, I'm using nuclear jets that can also switch to an internal oxidizer supply to use as the propellant, but they should, in theory, work in any planet that has an atmosphere because they don't actually need any kind of like oxygen for a combustion process. It simply just uses a nuclear reactor to heat the available atmosphere and propel it out the back. So that should work. Ran that through a few tests, kind of refined its design a little bit, and then also worked on redesigning the propeller-driven aircraft because I'm planning on bringing one of those along as well. And as you can see, I have those docked up here on the ballista, ready to go. So this is our lander. I made some slight adjustments here. I added some solar panels to it because I think I might need them. And this is our aircraft. I added some more solar panels to that as well. I'm hoping that that is able to re-enter properly. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So I think that this is ready to go. I also brought up 2 new Kerbals with the lander. Actually, I probably need to go ahead and move them. Transfer crew. And transfer them into the doesn't have any personal inventory space. Interesting. Oh well, I'll just transfer them into the control pod. That's fine. Alright, so we have 2 pilots, an engineer, and a scientist on board. We still have lots of science data that hasn't been processed yet. I'm hoping that a lot of that is going to get processed on the way to Eve. But you know what? We can always gather more science as we arrive and just store it and hold it and put it in the lab when we can. So that is going to be the plan. Alright, so what we need to do is consider, are we just going to leave this guy parked in orbit for a while? Because Eve transfers not for a little bit. We're talking 400 days, give or take. So we can leave it sit here. I don't believe that's actually expired. But right now, I'm not that worried about that. We have 6 years worth of supplies on the ballista. The station has 3 years worth of supplies. That's the only thing I really need to worry about keeping resupplied. And the arbalest has 11 years worth of supplies, so that's fine. We can always escape, put ourselves into a solar orbit, and then wait to see when the transfer window for the actual ship itself opens. That is something we could do. All right. Alright, so how will we do this? Alright, where is the moon in relation to our orbit? It's actually in a pretty decent spot, all told. So let's say I decided to do the maneuver here. No, we actually would need to do the maneuver more like that. Or should I say more like maybe this? Wow, that's interesting. So we'll go out, we'll actually come around for another full orbit and then get kicked out even further. But no, we're not gonna do something like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do something like this. And that should put us in a fairly decent orbit. Alright. Go ahead and tell this beast to begin orienting for the node. Now we're kicking a lot more mass on the end of this. I figured since that thing was so heavy, it would be best to put it on the end there. Because really, this aircraft is not going to be all that heavy. Or massive. Alright, and our engines are good. Our reactors are on, right? No, our reactors are off. We don't need to fire them up for another hour. Okay, I'm just checking, make sure. Yeah, we're all good. The one thing I haven't done, and it probably is a slight oversight on my part, is tested to see if that aircraft can actually properly re-enter with those prop blades. Oh well. I guess we'll have to just do it on the fly. Alright, we're almost oriented. oriented. And actually, are we in a position, a good position, to just go ahead and start the burn? Let's see. If we were to start the burn now, it would lead to an escape trajectory, which wouldn't be bad, all told. Alright, yeah, we're just going to get into position. And we're going to start this burn. Let's see, it's going to be a 2-minute burn. So we need to basically put this out to about another minute and a half. 2 minutes. The 220 meters per second. Yeah, that'll do. I'm really not worried about the actual timing of this thing. More the delta V is the issue. All right, so then that means we're going to want to fire those reactors up. Start the reactor. Oh, what just happened there? Start the reactor. All right, almost in position. No, in 30 seconds. No, we don't want that. All right, just put us prograde, please. Yeah, there we go. All right, light them up. What was that? All right, our acceleration is at 1.93 meters per second squared. We shouldn't hit anything on our way out. That's good. I think that the graphics on these engines have been updated. I have been trying to keep my mods up to date, so that's nice. Alright, we're about halfway through the maneuver. Once this is done, we're going to advance till we are in solar orbit, or Kerbalar orbit, whatever you want to call it. And then figure out what our next maneuver is going to be. Then we'll probably go take a look at the Arbalest and see where that's at. Looking at, we are on an escape trajectory, so we could just turn the engines off at any point here, but I'll go through the full maneuver. Oh yeah, I think we're done. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and warp us out to that transition. 5 days. Alright, how long do we actually leave? Another 5 days. No, 5 hours, sorry. Okay, so there we are. We are now out of the Kerbal system, or out of the Kerbin system. So let's go ahead and set you as target. Let's get my planner up here and let's see what we've got. A 946.7 meter per second node in 1 year, 165 days, 4 hours. That is perfect, I think. We're about a year out from that transfer window anyway. Oh, Okay, so that's good. Looks good. We'll go ahead and let that ride. So that's going to be about 500 some odd days that we have there. 1 year, 165 days. All right, let's switch the Arbalest real quick. All right, node is in 326 days for its maneuver. How much science do you have on board? 232. Go ahead and transmit that. Let's see if any other science data can be transmitted or transferred into the lab for processing. It doesn't really look like it. No, that can. Go for it. (1800 m/s) node. We have 4,000 meters per second of delta V left. It's going to be close, but I think we'll be all right. Just trying to decide if I want to advance time or not. I think we are. Advance time by, let's say, 100 days. All right, that's complete. Now, let's check and see what we got. Yeah, 500 science. Okay, transmit the science. All right, then we're going to go ahead and stuff some more data in there. That'll do. Alright, and then we'll swap on over to the ballista. Because it should also have a pile of science ready to go. Alright, there it is. And 490 science. Go ahead and transmit it. And let's review its data. Wait, I think the data here is actually in this. Yep, all right, review stored data. There's only 3. So we're almost through processing everything that this ship has from its last mission. I believe it was Duna, I think. Alright, now, the thing is that for these 2 vessels, the only thing I really have to do for them is just advance time a little bit, transfer the science, switch back and forth between them, transfer more science, so forth and so on. I'm not sure how interesting that's going to be to do on screen. I'll probably have to, push those guys through off screen, do all that time advancement. Actually, there's one thing I need to do. Switch over to the station, because this also has a science lab on it, so it probably has something that can be transferred. Probably not a lot. Alright, it's got 115. Go ahead and transmit that through. What is with the blinking? Alright, let's see. Review the data and see if anything more can be transferred into the lab or not. There is a little bit I can recover from this. If I brought up a vehicle that could bring it back. Might be a thought. But right now, I don't know what is going on. We're heading back to the Space Center. Alright, so now we have 1,815 science. Let's see. Medium ducted fan engine. Ducted fan engines. Articulation. Orbital megastructures. Starlifter cargo rack. 5-meter quad adapter. Orbital assembly docking port. Proton sail mass reduction. Let's see, extreme fuel storage. Antiproton Bose-Einstein condensates. That would be for antimatter systems. Pulse inductive thrusters. Extremely low thrust. Let's see. Argon gas, electric. $5,500 ISP. Plasma Wakefield accelerator engine. $80 kilonewtons. With an engine ISP of 100,000. Using liquid. Oh. That sounds interesting. I don't have the science for it though yet. I'd have to get something in this line here. Fusion rockets. Magneto-inertial fusion engine. Advanced electrostatic thrusters. Argon tanks. Nested channel hull thruster. These are extremely low thrust. Great for small satellites, but I don't know about... or small probes, but... I don't know about how much we're going to be doing that. Magneto-hydrodynamic electrical generator. Advanced fusion reactions. Magnetized target fusion reactor. Tri-alpha colliding beam fusion reactor. Interesting. We have the spherical tokamak. And stellarator fusion reactor. So we have some fusion reactors. Maybe we should get some fusion rockets. And do an experiment with them. Yeah, let's hit it. Okay. Okay, so where would that be listed? I have a magnetic nozzle. Magneto-inertial fusion engine. Looks like it's on a 2.5 meter. Or is that 3.75? Let's see. This would be, yeah, 2.5 meter. Okay. It just has delta V on its own, and all right. It uses lithium and deuterium. Propellant is lithium. Propellant is aluminum. Okay, so the deuterium I think actually just fuels the reactor. Okay, and then we can either use aluminum or lithium as the actual propellant. Interesting. Reactor fuel, deuterium, tritium. Cold deuterium, deuterium. It produces no thrust. It produces no thrust in atmosphere. Thrust to weight. What is its thrust? No, not that. It's 50 kilonewtons in space. Can I compare that to something? Like, what is this? That's what, 2.4 kilonewtons? So significantly more thrust in our existing magnetoplasma dynamic thrusters. Weighs 4 tons, weighs 2.5 tons. They run off of lithium. I have lithium infrastructure. So that would be good. $40,000 meters per second to delta V with that lithium tank. Burns for 4 hours. Interesting. Huh. All right. Well, let's say we fly it as an experiment. Because if these fusion engines will work better, maybe we'll think about replacing the magnetoplasma dynamic engines when the vehicles return to Kerbin. We can always swap those engines out. That wouldn't be very hard. I don't know what it will need as electrical. So we'll just slap some electric on here. Better to use this. Alright, and some power. It's what? It's 12 tons? That's not much. $32,000 meters per second. There, that's a fusion reactor. Now, does this thing need anything to start? That's gonna be the question. I don't know how long the deuterium is gonna last. I don't think I have anything that actually holds deuterium. I could be wrong, though. Like, if I were to use a procedural tank, is liquid fuel oxidizer. Yeah, that doesn't hold that. Multi-purpose fuel tank cluster. Alright, well, let's get this thing ready for flight. Alright, this is that type of fairing. I should have a 3.75 meter. Maybe I don't. Oh, That's fine. Just put some 2.5 meter parts in there. We're on 3.75 meter parts. All right. That engine should be fine. Thrust to weight. That's good. Oh, that's a bit overkill, isn't it? Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll probably use this and that. Yeah, that'll do. This is just a test bed. I want to test these engines out, as I said, for potential future applications. Fusion drive test 1. All right. Let's get it in space. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty straightforward launch, so what I'm just go ahead and do is pause, and then I'll be back when this thing's in orbit. Alright, we're about to get into orbit. Just go ahead and get rid of those guys. Decouple that. We're going to deorbit this real quick. Alright, so that guy is gone. Alright, so let's see what happens. Let's see. wonder if it needs something to start up. That is what I was wondering. Oh, that's really maneuverable. Alright. Well, I'll have to figure this out. And see if I can't run some tests, and maybe we'll have to save that for next episode. Because there's not a lot else that I can really do right now. So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and stop here. An interesting idea. I just got to figure out how this thing is supposed to work. It apparently does not work just launching it and trying to fire it up. There's a missing piece that I'm not sure what it is. Alright, but I will look into that, and then next episode we'll try and run another test. And I should also have the two vehicles probably significantly further along in their missions, hopefully through their next maneuvers, or at least, yeah, through their next maneuvers. So we'll get to that for next episode. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment.